When I'm not developing carpal tunnel syndrome from unsubscribing all the YouTube channels that are posting why YouTubers are quitting videos, I like to answer questions and comments that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. Fantastic lesson. Please do more lessons on how to combine picking and strumming, or maybe even do a series of videos on the topic. It sounds so good. Yeah, this is like the one kind of tip that I think really opened up my playing once I started figuring this out. I feel like it's the most helpful thing that you could do if like maybe you got some chords under your belt, maybe you know a scale or two and you want to really combine them. The best way to do it is take a chord progression, leave some space, and then add something lead musically into it. For example, let's take a super basic chord progression. Let's go C major, G major, A minor, okay? Now we're gonna have 4 bars, so after that A minor, we're gonna leave space to do something. So it'll be like C, G, A minor, then we're gonna do something in that empty space, right? So after we get from this A minor, I wanna go into everybody's favorite tried and true spot, the A minor pentatonic scale position, right? So 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5-8, and then once we can kind of isolate that position, you can start doing some cool stuff. So for example, we'll have like a C, G, A minor, then back, right? So whatever you do in there, just make space. Like for example, that's a much easier way to do it. In fact, you could say that I'm just playing a different chord voicing from here, because when I go from this A minor, I'm just gonna slide into that 5th fret. So let's make it really simple at first. Let's start just kind of hanging out on just this 5th fret and do something in that timing. Of course I'm playing it in a waltz because you know the classy people only play with waltz, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, A minor 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, back to C. Okay? So once we got that down, then maybe let's do something with the other notes on the 8th fret. See how I did that? I went into the top of that little scale. And, you know, it sounds a little more musical than it actually is because I'm really just descending through the scale. Instead of just going backwards, which is probably what it sounds like. You know, it's funny, like the first time I tried this, it would always be C, G, A, C, and then it always just sounds like you're going up and down a scale. So pivoting inside the scale is an important one, which is why you'll notice it's not like bum, 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 bum. It's, I'm getting that 8, 5, 8B, then I'm pivoting, going higher, and then back. Okay, so C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, A minor. And then, you know, when you get back, C, G. Now let's try to do something where we end up on that C to walk our way back. That's like a more maybe elegant way to do it because I know I'm gonna end up back on this 3rd fret of the A string. So why don't I do something where my ring finger ends up on the A string and I can bring it back, okay? So just a couple different ideas of how you can maybe start doing this, where maybe you focus on just the higher strings. I think especially in an acoustic guitar setting, it sounds really good if you do double stops because it almost sounds like you're playing chords within it. Like right there, I'm just kind of double stopping through these 2 positions and I'm really kind of hammering on just the 5th and the 7th frets, right? Because, you know, if you just take the A, D, and G strings in this minor pentatonic scale, you just get the 5th and 7th frets. So if you wanted to double stop them, you can do something like that. I'm just working my way back through this shape until my ring finger is on the A string, and that's when I know I'm gonna stop, right? So no matter how you do it, I'm gonna end up on C, okay? So G, A minor. And see how that time it was a little different? I got to the A string earlier, but that's fine, I can just hang out there. Okay, that's an example of like maybe I was A string late, but I always end up on that A string. And that's kind of like a more elegant way because your ring finger is already in position, and that's what's beautiful about having a chord where you're kind of leading with your ring finger and then using that information to your advantage as far as like, all right, I'm gonna play something in this little shape and then bring it back. And it sounds so much more musical in my opinion. Now, the great thing about the minor pentatonic thing is it has all these licks that are prevalent throughout all sorts of, YouTube videos, even the YouTubers who have quit YouTube because it's just too much. It's too much to make these lessons. Those videos will stay up forever, and then you just learn some licks. They kind of take you back into this position, right? And again, you can do this with anything. Like I've got a song in the key of D, right? Which is like, D, B minor, G. And then it's like, all right, well, what's minor pentatonic in the key of D? Easiest way to find that is you just find a D note, 10th fret on the E string works great. Go back 3 frets. That's always gonna give you the minor pentatonic shape. It's like, all right, so now I know I just gotta get to 7 and 9 to play some kind of B minor pentatonic thing. D major, B minor, G. B minor, back to G, get to that spot. And the great thing about this is now I can slide back and hit an open D to kind of get on there. And I think playing in this way makes it sound like actual music. And speaking of music, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, DistroKid. DistroKid is how you get your music online. Now this may seem like something totally inaccessible to you that doesn't concern you, but I promise you, you're gonna want this service because it is so inexpensive and you can put anything up online and you can do it from your phone. They have this awesome new app where you can actually just upload whatever you want. It could just be like a voice memo to like maybe chirp at a girl or a guy or something like that, and just be like, oh, I just miss you, I miss you so much, whatever, wrote you a little song, and then you go into a little song, put it up on DistroKid and send them a Spotify link a few days later, and then they have it. It's really like the ultimate move. I promise you, you're gonna wanna do it. DistroKid is the best service. They give you so many different stats of if people are listening to your music, and they even have a bank, which, they collect the money for you once people start streaming your music. Because once you start incorporating these fire minor pentatonic licks, everybody's gonna wanna start listening to your music anyway. So thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring this video. You can get a discount with the affiliate link in the description of this video. Shout out DistroKid, huge sponsor of mine. Love their service, been using it ever since I started uploading music to Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon and everything else. So check it out, and thanks for clicking that link. Back to some cool little licks. One thing that I like doing, and let's go back to the A minor one. That's probably like one of my favorite acoustic guitar licks where you kind of end up, again, we're in that 5 to 7 zone on the A, D, and G strings, right? And this one right here. So I'm going 5-7 on D, 5-7 on G, and then sliding this little shape up 2 frets, right? So I'll do this again really slow. And then from here, when you get your ring finger on the G string, 7th fret, put your middle finger down, 1 fret back, and then slide both of those up together 2 frets. And then you can kind of go back with your pointer finger, and then now you're back in double stop land. See how that works? So again, we're coming from an A minor, which I'll do in the chord progression in just a second. C, G, A minor. C, G, A minor. Even just playing it like that without having to kind of do a lot of movement. And then combine it. And then one more time in the double stops. A minor. So something that anybody can do is really just visualizing it, leaving space, and then coming up with some kind of cool melody from a super simple shape that you already know, and then you're cooking with fire. Part 1, stupid lead-in joke. Part 2, gratuitous look at me solo. Part 3, shameless masterclass plug. Part 4, totally incoherent ADHD rambling. Shouldn't the ADHD rambling be a part of each part? And joke's on you, this is super old. Now part 3 is the sponsor, DistroKid. Thank you again. Sean, I hope the move works for you. I'm not a you got this no problem kind of guy. This is gonna be difficult for you. You seem to have the tenacity to stay with it for a while and the intelligence to know when it's not working, blah, 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 blah. I stopped watching your videos some time ago because you were always Sean Daniel. Even in the very serious video, you fell into being Sean Daniel. Try just being you. You're talented enough to do so. Imagine the type of parasocial relationship that you'd have to be like, wow, this consistent image that you've never wavered from is clearly not the person that you actually are. I feel like that's something I need to bring up with my therapist. Love that chord bouncing between a major 6 and a major 9 as the 1 and the 4 is super fun. Here's a great quick tip, all right? Major 9 chords, super slept on guitar. Let's do D major 9. This guy right here. So let's say it's the D on the A string, 5th fret, 4th fret D, pointer finger, pinky. There's the major 7. We got the 6th fret on the G string, and then your ring finger grabs that right here on the 5th fret of the B string, right? Which is an E. So that's like the 9, 1, major 3rd, major 7, major 9. Okay, first of all, this is a chord shape that you should already know. The great thing about this is all you have to do is move your middle finger a string lower, and then it becomes an A major 6, right? So whenever you're doing a major 9, you can always jump from A major 9, or from the 4 chord as a major 9 to the 1 chord as a major 6. D, A. So anytime you see like a D to A chord progression, like listen to it. Here's regular D triad. All right, sounds great, but not a lot of spice because they're just triads, just regular major chords. This adds a little something extra, right? And this is totally movable. So again, here's E, A, or B, E, B, C major 9, G major 6. Just keep going up and up and up and up, and you never get bored of it. Listening homework, I'm gonna throw you to the new Vulfmon track with Evengeline. Huge fan of both of these bands. I guess Vulfmon is just kind of Jack Stratton's from Wolfpack solo-ish collab project. Huge fan of Evengeline too, but I think this is like such a cool collaboration track. So check that out for listening homework. Get yourself some of that DistroKid goodness with my affiliate link in the description. I will talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.